All right, here we go. Diving into white. Again, we're doing commons, uncommons, rares, and then we'll be within each of those sorted by CMC, not alphabetical. So moving up the chain here, start with Alley Evasion. Single white mana for an instant. Choose one. Target creature you control gets +1/+2 until end of turn, or return target creature you control to its owner's hand.
Man, am I glad that you read that, because I was going to say Ally Evasion. That's not what this card says. So this is not a great card, right? This is like
I disagree.
Oh, you like this card? Ooh, I was gonna say this is not fantastic. I guess like so you're putting this card in as like a flex slot 22nd, 23rd card, right? It's not, yeah, and it has some utility. I don't know. It's like a bad combat trick. Sometimes
it's a fine
bounces
combat trick. You're gonna win combat when you cast this, and it's 1 mana, and it has other applications. Saves creatures from removal spell, triggers revolt. I think this card does enough. And it being a modal card in best of one, I also think is value. I'm giving it like a C-. I'm not excited.
Right. This is the whole, again, like, in theme with this set review. This is me and you flipping, me being like, this card's great, but it's a C-.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I don't ever remember playing this card. Let me put it that way, right? But I don't know. Maybe I'm too low on it, and I'm looking at this through muddied vision here.
I think you'll play. I think you're fine playing one of these in most of your white decks.
Sure.
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that's too high. But so I'm gonna go C-.
I'm gonna give it a D+. I just don't think you're gonna be playing this card, but I do appreciate the utility there for sure.
Yeah.
All right. So next up on our list we have Built to Last. So yeah, I'm much more excited about this card. So This is instant. Target creature gets +2/+2 until end of turn. If it's an artifact creature, it gains indestructible until end of turn.
Yeah.
So if I remember correctly, and things are gonna be a little bit different here, but Built to Last and Built to Smash were both pretty important cards for the red-white decks, making your vehicles just like houses and just being like very, very efficient ways to win combats, right? Again, the creatures are pretty small in this set, so a lot of times you are going to be winning combat just with this like, decent size boost, which, to be fair to you, this is not that much bigger than the booster of the last card.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. But the indestructible does matter a lot, right? We've seen Vampire Zeal is kind of a similar card that we saw in Ixalan, where that card overperformed, and this has kind of a similar vibe to it. Mm-hmm. This is a good combat trick. Like, this is, there's kind of like in Zendikar, where some of your red decks actively want an inordinate rage. Your white decks are actively going to want a Built to Last some amount of the time. More your red-white vehicle decks than your red-white or white-black go-wide decks, but there's going to be spots for this card.
Yeah, I think the first copy is a C.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Next up is Fragmentize. Single white sorcery, destroy target artifact or enchantment with CMC 4 or less.
All right, so this is a good place to talk about these naturalized effects, because I think they are, it's always the question of when we have these artifact or enchantment sets, how willing are we to run these? And I think, if you remember Theros, where it was you would run a copy of Return to Nature, maybe 2 if you needed the spot, but they are they're worth.
But I wouldn't run it in Eldraine.
Right. Yeah,
I ran True Love's Kiss, but not Return to Nature.
Basically, the thing is there are a few important artifacts out there, and it's nice if this snags a vehicle or something, but a lot of times it's a bit too situational, and it doesn't advance your game plan enough, and it doesn't detract from your opponent's game plan enough that you want to play a card that's this situational. It's still going to be a fine main deck card. You're fine with a copy of it, maybe 2, but I'm not gotta play this card. Oh, you're higher on the card,
I think I'm hoping to not play the first copy.
Oh, okay, cool. Okay, so, I was thinking you'd land on the opposite side.
No, so my feeling is, and I think I just stole. I think this is just your words that really rang true to me. But so we haven't seen it yet. But white is a very aggressive color in this format, in my mind.
Yes.
When you are an aggressive deck, you are going to see. Ideally, you're going to see fewer cards, right? Because you're going to end the game with fewer draws.
Yep.
Or draw steps, rather. And so every card you draw needs to matter.
Yes, 100%.
And so the times when you draw this and it doesn't matter, or the thing you're blowing up is a puzzle knot or what,
right.
What's the target for this? There are a handful of vehicles that you're going to be thrilled to be cool, I got Skyskiff out. I got the 4-mana 6/6 out. But I think as long, if I'm building my white decks in an aggressive fashion most of the time, which I think I am, I don't think I'm in for this card.
Yeah, no. I was tempering my comments to be
Why
on
did
the
you think
board.
I was going to be excited about this?
Oh yeah, I don't know, cause like I have no idea.
Because I like bad cards? You can say
Yeah,
it.
do you like bad cards? Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I was tempering my comments to be more on the reasonable side, but I agree. Like I mostly don't want to put this card in my deck, right? So
Yeah, I think.
yeah, I mean again, it's weird because this is a great sideboard card. You'll definitely bring this in against a lot of decks if this were best of one.
Yeah.
But I don't think you should be playing. This is you can play the first copy as like your 20 to 23rd card. You shouldn't be that excited about it though.
Right. I think that's true.
I almost don't even want to give it much of a grade because I think
I'm just going to get a D. Like you can play it, but
I think it's a little higher than that. But yeah, the sentiments.
Well, what's your grade then? We got a spreadsheet here.
Sure, let's do C minus.
C minus. Wow, that's high.
Wait,
you like this more than Alley Evasion?
Yes,
that,
for sure.
I think is wrong. I think
okay, that's fine. Yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong. Stance to take.
Maybe I'm wrong here. All right, next up we have Audacious Infiltrator. This is 1 and a white for a 3/1. It's a dwarf and it can't be blocked by artifact creatures.
Unchumpable by servos.
Yeah, this was not great.
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna want 2-drops, but I think this is the worst of the 3 in white.
Yeah, and I think one thing I want to say about Fragmentize, and I kind of think it applies to this too, is like this is an artifact set, but it's not like everything. It's not like this isn't gonna resonate with a lot of people, but it's not like mirrored in where everything.
It's not half the stuff is artifacts.
Exactly. It's just like sprinkled in. It's like artifact flavoring, right?
Oh, you forgot to mention that this is a dwarf.
I did say it was a dwarf.
Oh, you did? Okay, phew. Because we gotta let people know about those types, baby.
Also, this is a white rogue for your party decks if you're playing.
Oh, sick. For historic?
You don't get white rogues very often. So, I mean, the thing is, like, this doesn't go. It doesn't get blocked by servos, which is nice, but it still gets blocked by a lot of other things.
Being a 3-power creature is important for those crew 3s, though.
Yes, that's the other thing I was going to mention. That is quite important. You're more likely to play this if you have those crew 3 vehicles. Fine aggressive creature, like a C minus though.
Yeah, I think I was C minus on this.
Yeah.
Aviary Mechanic. 1 on a white for a 2/2. When it enters the battlefield, you may return another permanent you control to its owner's hand. I love this little guy.
Yeah.
Oh, and it's a dwarf artificer, so both.
It's a dwarf artificer. It's both things. Wow. Jeez.
This is very cool. So like, you play it on turn 2, great. Don't need to do anything with it. It can do weird stuff with like gaining you an additional mana if you're stuck on lands, like Tazim Raptor does, right? Because it can just like you pick up a land and then replay that as your land drop, and then so it can cost 1 on later turns in theory in that way. Triggers Revolt, which again not like a huge deal. It just does a lot of like rebuys a Fabricate creature to come back down, make another servo. Like it will have applications late in the game, and that's what you want out of a 2-mana 2/2. Something that's like good on turn 2 and then also like does stuff when you top deck it.
Yeah. This is like a C+, right? This is a lot of nice.
I was just gonna go C, but
I remember this card being quite good.
Yeah. Oh, and Rex the pacifism effects.
Yeah, Rex the pacifism. Do you know the old school slang term for this type of creature that picks up something?
It's a fleet main lion or whatever.
No, it's a gating creature.
Oh.
Yeah, it's like a weird. I don't know why that's in the back of my head, but that's it. I think it's like an R&D term.
Wow. Alex with all the fun facts today.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice.
Tell you all the banned cards in Commander, all the old R&D terms. All right, next up here we have Conviction. So this is 1 and a white for an enchantment aura. It says enchanted creature gets +1/+3, white mana, return Conviction to its owner's hand.
This card was like better than it looked, right? Or am I misremembering it?
So it's fine. Like you'll play a copy of it in your white deck. It's actually like it's pretty annoying if you put this on a 2-drop. You can start attacking and it gets in, and then you can like pick it up later, start putting in other stuff. It doesn't has that nice thing where it's like they go to cast the removal spell, you don't lose your aura if you have a mana up, and it triggers Revolt for whatever it's worth mentioning.
For the card that matters.
The combo with this card is Sram, right? The rare.
Right.
Where it's like that's whenever you cast an aura, vehicle, or equipment, you draw a card. So this just is an engine with Sram. You just keep drawing tons of cards. And that's actually pretty unbeatable if they don't have a removal spell. So that's like a little small thing to note. This is like a C minus D plus level card though.
Yeah, I think I'm in for D plus.
Yeah.
I love this little guy. Countless Gears Renegade. 1 and a white 2/2 dwarf artificer. And has Revolt, create a 1/1 servo.
Yeah, this is a fine card. I remember this card being a little bit. It's funny you said you were excited about it. I remember being like a little bit disappointed about it. I remember not getting the creature that often,
You
and
don't get
like
it that often on 2.
no, yeah, very rarely on 2, right? And then it's like,
but that's fine because like on
yeah,
2
it's
you
fine,
just want
right?
a 2-mana 2/2.
Yeah. So this is like a solid C, but I almost remember this being like a little bit worse than a C though. Maybe I'm misremembering, but I don't know.
It might be worse. So Aviary Mechanic is your 2-drop of choice.
Yeah, I think that card's a lot better. It just has like way more utility.
Okay.
Yeah, and the thing is like the aggro decks in this format, like the 2-drops aren't particularly great at attacking right by themselves, but they get helped out by the vehicles, of course, and most of the aggro decks are, we're going to get to it, we've already mentioned it, but inspired charge decks where they want to go wide. So like a lot of these aggressive 2-drops aren't great at attacking, but you're using them mostly just to be a body for accruing vehicles or getting pumped, and you're using them for their utility basically.
Yeah.
All right, next we have Eddy Trailhawk. So this is 1 and a white for a 1/2 flyer. This is when Eddy Trailhawk enters the battlefield, you get 2 energies. When Eddy Trailhawk attacks, you may pay an energy. If you do, another target attacking creature gets flying until end of turn.
So a little like temporary Pegasus Courser.
Yeah, so a lot of the white cards kind of just like have energy attached to them, do their thing, and they once you use their energy, that's it. There's not a lot of ways to gain repeatable energy, right? So
and white also doesn't have a lot of energy, period.
Right, exactly. This card is not great. I remember. It's fine, but it's like not. There's a lot of 2-drops to choose from. Actually, now that we've seen 4 white 2-drops. That's interesting. Actually, didn't note that before.
Yeah.
Right. Wow, that's actually really interesting.
I think there is a white-green beatdown deck where Eddy Trailhawk is going to be good.
Yeah. Oh yeah. White green is the whole.
Because then you get the energy, so this can like do this every turn, and like when you're launching your, I mean, not that your thriving Rhino needs it, but whatever, launching your 4/4s and 5/5s into the air, that's tough to deal with.
Yeah. I again, maybe I'm just misremembering, but I don't remember this card being fantastic. I'm gonna give it a C- for now.
I think I'm fine with C-.
No C. Yeah. Okay, that's fair.
Impeccable Timing. 1 and a white for an instant, deals 3 damage to target attacking or blocking creature.
Ugh. So this one is awkward. Just like they crew their vehicle, and you're like, well, what is this?
You can get Sky Skiff.
You get the Sky Skiff. This is
the deal was like you could kill Renegade Freighter with this.
Right, that was the nice thing, but we don't even get that little upside anymore.
Do that.
It's like a very medium removal spell that you'll play sometimes, but you're not going to be happy about it, right?
No, this is bad. Like this has the problem with if we envision that most of White's decks are aggressive, which I think they are going to be, this is not the removal spell you want. You want to get a blocker out of. You don't want to let them block and then kill it.
Yep, exactly. It's worth. Yeah, I think a lot of people recognize these cards aren't great, but I think it's certainly worth noting that for the people that might see this as just like a 3 damage removal spell, it's much worse than that. It plays out a lot worse than that, right?
I think
so. I'm gonna give this a C-, D+.
I'm going D+. I'm going D+.
Take a stand here.
I'm taking a stand. This next card though, so good.
Yeah, this next card. So next card we have Glint Sleeve Artisan. So this is 2 and a white for a 2/2 with Fabricate 1. So this is our first instance of Fabricate. Fabricate just means when this enters, you can either choose to put a counter on it or make a 1/1 servo. And most of the time, you're going to be making a servo. Although sometimes you don't, right? Sometimes you don't. But a lot of these, actually, I'm gonna amend that and say that in your white decks, you're most of the time going to make a servo. In other decks, like the green Fabricate cards, sometimes you're gonna
card, right?
Yeah, card, sure, yeah. Like it depends what deck you're in, right? If you're in like an inspired charge deck, you're going to make the servo. A lot of times you're just going to like put it on as the nicely statted creature, though. So actually, I take it back. I said most of the time you're going to make a servo. It was about 50-50 if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I think this card is a C+.
Right. This one in particular, you did make the servo a lot of the time. A lot,
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, as we're going to see, there's this like, I have this as like the lead off of a holy trinity here in white.
Right, yeah.
Drop, 4
I
drop,
think
5 drop.
Yeah, I know the exact curve you're talking about. And it's a very good curve.
It's a very good curve.
And this is, going into it, I think this was the best white common in the set, and I think it remains the best white common in this set.
I agree.
Yeah, it's very good. It just does all the things you want. It makes the like making 2 permanents is important, making an artifact permanent is important, making tokens is important. So, yeah, very good. B minus. I'm gonna go B minus on this
B
one.
minus. I'm sticking with C plus, but I respect the B minus.
Yeah, that's fair. We didn't say that so much later. Just like, yeah, you're wrong, but that's okay. It's fine.
I'm not saying you're wrong.
No. I know.
Herald of the Fair is 2 and white for a 3/2 human, and it enters the battlefield. Target creature you control gets +1/+1 until end of turn.
Yeah, these cards are always crappy.
Yeah.
This one actually was like so white was pretty deep in the original Kaladesh, and this was just like
pretty deep here, I think.
Yeah, I think so too. This was like this is the last pick a lot of the time.
Yeah.
You just don't want to put this card. Like it looks like a fine playable, and it kind of is, and especially because 3 power white creature cruises your vehicles, but like you can just do better. Right? You can really do better. Like ask for more out of your cards. This is just a D.
Yeah, I agree with that.
All right, next up here.
Here we go.
Here we go. Yeah. So this is Revoked Privileges. 2 and a white for an enchantment aura. Enchanted creature can't attack, block, or crew vehicles. So Ethan, I'll leave this one to you.
It's not good. This card is not good. It's fine, but this is not in my top 3 white commons.
No, yeah, I don't think so either. I actually remember this being like, okay, so this is around the time when we just started to get efficiently costed pacifisms back, actually. And we're like, ooh, 3-mana pacifism, like that's kind of nice.
Yeah.
And I don't know if my memory is tempered by that fact that we're like, this seemed like a treat at the time. But I do agree. Like I actually remember in the testing meeting, Sam Black being like, I don't want to put this card in my deck ever. He never wanted to put Revoked Privileges in his deck. Yeah. And I think that's where I landed on this card at the end of the format, and I think, after hearing the pros' opinions on it, and then I think now especially with the new eyes that we're seeing pacifisms with these days, I completely agree. I don't think this is a card that you actively want. You'll play a copy, kind of like Nahiri's Binding, but it's very medium.
Yeah. I mean, well, the other problem is that we keep talking about creature sizing. So outside of playing against green decks, this isn't like, I don't know, you need, like, the creatures are just all derpy. There's a lot of derpy creatures.
And like, your opponent plays a Fabricate creature, cool, you revoke their, like, 2/2, they still have the 1/1 left behind.
I don't know, it's
right?
just like, and they can't crew their vehicle with that creature, but they still have a vehicle, and that's probably the thing that's the biggest problem. Like, I don't know.
So Chad's saying, is there a control deck that would want this card? I think it's even worse in a control deck because it gives them more time. Like in an aggro deck, at least you can maybe get a blocker out of the way and you get some value out of that, or you get it for a big hit. In a control deck, this gives them more time to bounce their creature or like, knock it off somehow, or it's a bunch of ways to punish this card, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna go C- on Revoked.
Yeah, I'm gonna go C- on that. I think that's pretty apt for this card. All right.
This is not your 4-drop of choice.
This one's not. Is this not part of the 3 Musketeers?
Well, it's weird that this has like white gets 2 of the like comes into play with 2 energy, or I guess maybe multiple. Green gets 1. Green gets 2 also. Anyway, so this is 3 and white for a 2/3 vigilance. Enters the battlefield, you get 2 energy. Whenever it attacks, you may pay 2 energy. If you do, you create a 1/1 colorless servo artifact creature token.
Yeah, I remember this was like part of like there was a few sets in a row where like they tried out like these like 4-mana 2/3 vigilance creatures with like minor abilities, and they were always terrible. I don't know why they made these. This one's not good. This one just can't, like, you just attack, maybe you get in for a hit, and like maybe it bounces if you're lucky and it doesn't just die. But this
is a D.
This is a D minus. You should
D minus.
Yeah, D minus. All right, next up.
We've been talking about this card a lot. Here we go.
Yeah, this is Inspired Charge. So we've seen this card a lot, but it's probably, I think, the best Inspired Charge has ever been. 2 white creatures you control get +2/+1 until end of turn. There are entire archetypes built around this card. This is like, you want 2-3 copies in your Fabricate decks, in a lot of your white decks, right? Like, you're just going to be going wide, and it doesn't matter what your opponent has. They're just going to be dead to Inspired Charge a lot of the time. This is a linchpin to a lot of the white archetypes, and you should be taking it pretty highly, honestly. Like maybe people, honestly, people probably won't catch on to this card being good.
I don't think you need to take it as high as it, like the relationship between how high you need to take it and how important it is for your deck, I think, is different.
Yeah, exactly. And especially because the set's not going to be out for months, right? People might not catch, like, I think if the set was out for months, people would understand how good this card is after a while. But I think you're still going to get this card wheeling on the second week of the format or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
With the first copy is a C+.
Yeah, I would give this a B-, honestly. I think because it's like that kind of like build around.
It's not a... No.
Yeah, this was the card.
I think I am taking the Three Musketeers over this.
Yes, I agree, but I think that those cards are also great, right? Like, I'm giving those cards Bs.
Oh, all right. I think we're just, yeah.
I'm going to be agreeing to disagree here a little bit, right?
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
And in chat, a small comment in chat I think is interesting to talk about. But the funniest part of the set review is that when you talk up Pump Spell and give it a C- and talk about how bad pacifism is, gives a C-. It is funny, but like the reason we're doing that, I think, is because we're approaching that from where our baselines are. Usually combat tricks are bad and usually removal spells are good. So I think it is funny to talk up a combat trick and down a removal spell and end up in the same place. I agree. I think a lot of that is just like where the assumed baselines are on those types of cards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next up, Propeller Pioneer, 3 and a white, 2/1 flyer with Fabricate 1.
Yeah, this is another. This is the second member of your Three Musketeers you're talking about, right? Yeah, right. This one's nice. This is super solid card. I think I would also give this one a B-. Maybe it's like more C+ area. So maybe I won't also give all of these a
so
B level.
You're taking Inspired Charge over this?
Probably not. So probably I should just bump the charge down to C+. You're right. So I think this is like high C+, border on B- in some decks.
Yeah, this card's great. I believe this is second or third best white common. I can't quite peg it down because this last one is busted.
Yeah. So we got Dawnfeather Eagle. So this is 4 and a white for a 3/3 flyer. When Dawnfeather Eagle enters the battlefield, creatures you control get +1/+1 and gain vigilance until end of turn. So we had, the Dawnfeather Angel, I think, in M19, and that also
Angel of the Dawn, right?
Oh, Angel of the Dawn. That's right. Yeah, the angels don't have feathers. This is, that was in a go wide set with red white. This is in a similar set, and I think it's going to be just as good. I believe this was the best white common in Aether Revolt, if I remember correctly.
I mean, the curve of the dream curve of Glint Sleeve Artisan on 3, Propeller Pioneer on 4, you fabricate, you servo both times, and then Dawnfeather Eagle Anthem is just so hard to do.
Right. Yeah. This is a great card.
Yeah, this card's awesome. Is this a B-? Is this a C+?
I'm giving this straight B. Like, this is one of those 5
Do you think this is the best white common then?
No, I think that did I give Glint Sleeve a B-?
B-, yeah.
Yeah. I could probably bump up Glint Sleeve to a B, and this is probably also a B, but this is one of those 5 drops where it's like I'm okay having 3 of them,
Right. They don't get worse in multiples good. Really.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. All right. I'm gonna give it a B, but
all right, sweet. Yeah, I'm going B-. So maybe I have this as the best white. Maybe this is the best one.
I think I'd still give it to Glint Sleeve just because it's cheaper, but yeah.
Yeah, very possible. All right, what's going on first with our uncommons here?
Yeah, so our first uncommon on the list here, we got Gear Shift Ace. So this is 1 and a white for a 2/1 dwarf pilot. It's got first strike, and it says whenever Gear Shift Ace crews a vehicle, that vehicle gains first strike until end of turn.
Yeah, this card is rock solid.
Yeah, it's rock solid. One of the things, and we'll see this with a few other cards that grant abilities to vehicles, is like granting the abilities to the vehicles is like a nice upside, like slight bonus, but it's not huge because a lot of times like your vehicles are just so big anyways, right? It's like, it's certainly nice and it's just additional value on your already decent 2-drop. This is solid, not pull into white, I don't think. Just like solid C.
Whoa.
Yeah, I think I don't remember this card being like amazing. This was just a fine card.
I wanted to go like B- on this game.
Whoa, that's high. I think this is like
this is worse than the Aviary Mechanic to you.
Yeah, I think so.
Huh.
Yeah, I think Aviary Mechanic is a better card. Again, the bodies on your 2-drops, they matter, but not as much in this set, right? It's more about their utility, and the utility on this card is not fantastic.
The bodies don't matter on your 2-drops.
Like the bodies matter just for being bodies, but like it's not like you're playing your 2-drop because it's a creature that gets in over and over and over again. That's what I mean.
But this one,
it's not like.
But this one can.
Right, but I'm saying that doesn't matter as much because the ways you're winning the game are through the anthems, through the vehicles, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good though. It's a fine card. I'm not gonna knock it too hard, right?
Yeah.
So, but I'm gonna give it a C.
Okay.
All right, what's up next?
Restoration Specialist, 1 and a white for a 2/1. You can pay white, sack it, return up to 1 target artifact card and up to 1 target enchantment card from your graveyard to your hand. Oh, sick. I get my Revoked Privileges back after they bounce their creature because that card is terrible.
Yeah, so I don't remember this card being very good. It's fine. It's a nice little, like, I don't know, value card on your 2-drop. Again, this is good in the sense that, like, it is a body and it has some utility and you just want that.
But there aren't like one with the wind, like, auras
right.
that are, like,
yeah,
because it's all about the vehicles or your auras.
So, 90% of the time, this gets just an artifact back, right? So you're trading this in the late game for, like, a decent artifact. Maybe, like, even a puzzle knot or something, right?
Yeah.
So again, just, like, I think another C. I remember this card going, like, close
this
to
seems
last on
bad to me. Like, this seems like D+ territory.
Yeah, I'll give it a C-.
So many better.
Right, I guess if we're framing this on, like, your 2-drops, a lot of the 2-drops we've already seen are better, right? Like Eddie Trailhawk is probably better.
Yeah, right. So, like, this seems like the worst of the bunch.
Yeah, I can buy that. I give it I'm C-, D+. I'll stick with C- though. I think
this might be the 2-drop of choice.
Yeah, this is.
Servo Exhibition is 1 and a white to make 2 1/1 colorless servo tokens at sorcery speed.
Yeah, exactly what you want in these decks, right? Just like 2 bodies, 2 mana. Again, doesn't like attack very well early, but they just help with your inspire charge.
That curve, yeah.
Yep, yeah, exactly. This is a C+ level card. You're gonna take this pretty early, and it it kind of.
I'm going B- on this. We're all over the place here.
Especially because like this makes 2 artifacts, and that matters in a lot of your decks, right? Like in your like blue white decks, right? That matters. So I can buy that. I don't remember taking this card like super. I don't remember this card being premium though. Is the thing. That's why I want to give it a C+. But
okay,
that's fine.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, this one is premium. So this is Aerial Responder. This is 1 white for a 2/3 flying vigilance lifelink.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Vampire Whitehawk over here.
Vampire Whitehawk, yes.
So this is, I mean, great, right? Like, what's not to love?
Nothing. There's everything to love about it.
Yeah, super solid card. This is
a B.
Better than all the white commons.
Yes.
Yeah, I think B is probably right for this card.
Yeah. Fairgrounds Warden is up next. There's a lot of like removal at uncommon for white. So Fairgrounds Warden, 2 and a white for a 1/3. When it enters the battlefield, you exile target creature and opponent controls until Fairgrounds Warden leaves the battlefield. I know you're not high on these effects.
Yeah, I'm not super high on these kind of effects. They're better in constructed than they are in limited. Just because like you have less time in constructed to remove, like, this isn't sitting around on the battlefield forever. Like, games are over before it matters a lot of the time. In limited, like, you 2-for-1 your opponent, which is nice, but this body just sticks around. It can't really interact in combat. And then a lot of times, like,
2-for-1, because like you don't want to tussle with this.
Right, exactly. You don't want to tussle with it. And then it's a 2-for-1 on one side, sort of, and then they 2-for-1 you back, right? Which is fine. It's not like a bad exchange or anything. But I think people take these cards a little bit higher than I personally do, right? And they're good. Like, don't get me wrong, but it's not like premium. I think this card's like a C+ or B- level card.
Yeah, I was gonna go C+.
Yeah. All right. Oof. This next one, Skyroller Shaw. This card's kind of weird for a white card. Like, it's just so efficiently costed. So this is 2 and a white. For an instant, destroy target creature with power 3 or greater. So that's already great, but also you scry 1.
Yeah, this card is awesome. Kills most things. Being able to kill vehicles at instant speed is great, and then the scry 1 is just, ooh baby.
Yeah, I think between like the argument between this and the aerial responder that we just saw, the vigilance lifelink flying creature, like, it's close between which one is better. Like, I think this is one of the rare cases where I'm gonna come down on the removal side. Yeah, I think so too. Like, this hits enough stuff, and it's efficient enough, and it's instant speed, and you get that scry. Like, it's just enough things where it's just like such a good package. Yeah. Where I think this is just a B+. I think so too. This is gonna kill the things you care about, right? Like, it won't snipe off their 2-drop if you're a little bit behind or whatever, but it's gonna kill everything else. And sometimes it does, because there's just like 3 ones, right? So. Yeah. And then we do have a sort of O-ring here in Thopter Arrest. 2 and a white enchantment. When it ETBs, exile target artifact or creature and opponent controls until Thopter Arrest leaves the battlefield. It's interesting that we have these 3 CMC, 4 if you can count Revoked Privileges. CMC removal spells. So a little bit worse than these cards usually are, just because people are going to be just randomly main decking enchantment removal spells or artifact removal spells, right? Just fragmentize and
Appetite for
natural.
Yeah.
Whatever that green card is. So kind of has that Fairgrounds Warden-ish vibe. Not as much though, because less things hit it. It's still good. But I think just like how O-Ring not O-Ring, Banishing Light in Theros Beyond Death was good, but not like insane. I think this falls into a similar camp, just because it's going to get sniped off. It's not super reliable. You get punished in mid combat with an instant speed.
It's not going to happen that much.
No, it's not. But you should expect that, and I think you should factor that in, right? It's not like you shouldn't expect it every game, but you should factor that in. I'm going to give this a B, maybe a B minus.
Yeah,
but I don't know.
B minus.
Yeah, let's go B minus. I think I like that.
Yeah.
Next one here is Aeronaut Admiral. So this is 3 and a white for a 3/1 flyer, and it says vehicles you control have flying.
This is a cool card. Like having 3 power to crew the 3 crew vehicles is good. Vehicles then getting flying is good. You hate to see your opponent go island mountain when you have a 3/1 flyer for 4 when they have Thopters, but I think this is fine, not great.
Yeah, fine, not great is what I remember this card being. It's Propeller Pioneer. Is that what the card's called? I think that card's better than this one.
I agree.
And just get the 1 toughness is really tough, right? Just because there is not a ton of X1.
There's the Puzzle Knot.
Right, there's the Puzzle Knot, there's Subtle Strike, there's a Pinger in red, and there's enough things, right? And Thopters, like you said. So if you don't have a vehicle, it's just can't really get in. This is worse than it looks, I think. Maybe I think it looks very exciting, very appealing, but this card is just C minus exactly. You're going to be playing a lot of other 4-drops in white over this one.
Yeah. All right, what's next?
We got Refurbish. So this is 3 and a white for a sorcery. Return target artifact card from your graveyard to the battlefield.
Is this a white reanimator deck?
Yeah, that's the common archetype here.
You reanimate your 11/11 Colossus.
Yeah, exactly. This is not a great card.
No, I think this is This is in fact a bad card.
Yeah, you shouldn't take this card very highly. This is a D.
Yeah, I kind of want to just give it an F.
Straight up F.
I think I'm just going straight up F.
I mean, yeah, I'm never excited to play it, so I can agree with that.
Yeah. I am excited about this. Visionary Augmenter. 2 white for a 2/1 with Fabricate 2.
Yeah.
So it could be a 4/3, but more often than not, you're going to want to get 3 bodies out of this bad boy.
Yeah, this thing, again, this might not look super exciting, but it's great. This card is fantastic. the 3 bodies is huge. Mm-hmm. And sometimes, you just make it a 4/3 if you need to block or something. Or maybe the servos also just block well if you need to block. Right. So this is it's honestly bordering on B plus-ish territory. I think I'm going to land on B still.
Yeah, me too.
Do you take this, or do you take I think you take this over Glint Sleeve, which probably means you take it over the Aven. Pick 1, pack 1, 2.
The Aven.
Or sorry, the Eagle, my bad. The 5 mana card.
Yeah, I think I'm taking this over Aerial Responder too.
Ooh, that's interesting. I be Raleigh powerful. Maybe you're right. I don't remember taking this card over Responder, but that might be wrong. They're close either way.
Right? If I'm just thinking about what do I want my white decks to look like, I want them to look like decks that take advantage of Inspired Charge and Dawnfeather Eagle the most.
Take this, yeah.
And so that's why I would take this, but maybe that's wrong.
I think it's really close either way. But either way, it just shows that this card is very, very good, right?
Yeah.
B?
Yeah, B for me.
Okay, cool. All right, next up we have Airdrop Aeronauts. This is 5 mana for a 4/3 flyer. It's a Dwarf Scout. It has Revolt. When Airdrop Aeronaut enters the battlefield, if a permanent you control left the battlefield this turn, you gain 5 play.
I mean,
it's worse than the Eagle.
It's worse than the Eagle, but it's still very good.
Right. A lot of times you're going to gain the 5 play.
It's not hard to. Yeah, it's not hard. I think in best of 1 this gets bumped up because this just makes racing. You're trading off whatever, and then you drop, your opponent thinks you're racing, and you drop this on turn 5 and gain 5 life, and now you have a 4/3 flyer. It's so good.
Right. This is a very similar card to the Gaggle Master from M21, right? Just the exact same thing, right? Comes in, gains a bunch of life. Yeah, and that card was decent, even in your white aggro decks. Not a super high pick, but still a good card. So I think this is just a solid C+.
Yeah, I'm down for C+.
Cool.
Last one here is Wisp Weaver Angel. 4 white for a 4/4 flyer. When it enters the battlefield, you may exile another target creature you control, then return that card to the battlefield under its owner's control. Dude.
I must have skimmed over this card because I actually thought this wasn't in the set, but it is, and I'm very excited because this card's great.
Yeah, the Dream Curve. Airdrop Aeronauts, gain 5. Next
exactly.
Turn, flicker it, and then gain 5 again.
Oh, I mean, I think you're more excited about Cloudblazer into this, right? Like, that's the real dream.
Yeah, that's the dream for sure.
Yeah. But this blinks for Fabricate creatures, which is awesome. This card's fantastic. This card is a 6-drop I'm excited to play, which can't be said for many 6-drops. It's very, very good. Rogue Privileges, once again, getting the nug off. Oh my God. There's also a few blue ones that this bumps off. This card is... I'd also give it a B.
I'm a little lower on it because it is 6 mana.
Yeah, that's totally fair.
I'm going C+.
Yeah, that's totally fair. I just think there's enough things that, like, when this comes in, it's going to blink something, like, make more tokens, gain, draw some cards. Like, there's a lot of stuff that this affects. So
Yeah, for sure. All right. First rare here. Authority of the Console, single white enchantment. Creatures your opponent's control enter the battlefield tapped. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield under an opponent's control, you gain 1 life.
Yeah, this is a constructed card. You could.
This is an F.
Yeah, you could imagine this being some niche sideboard card, but no, not in this day and age.
No.
Yeah, you're never playing this card.
So basically, besides Smuggler's Copter, this whole like Mardu Vehicles deck is back, right?
Yes, they lose like Gideon, but which was kind of an important part of the puzzle.
That's
with
true,
part of Kieran. But yeah, basically, I mean, you can play other Planeswalkers. I don't know how good it's going to be, but
yeah.
But this is a part of it, right? You've got Toolcraft Exemplar, this next card here. This is a single mana for a 1/1. It says at the beginning of combat on your turn, if you control an artifact, Toolcraft Exemplar gets +2/+1 until end of turn. If you control 3 or more artifacts, it also gains first strike. Yeah.
Yeah, seems fine.
Yeah, it's sort of got like an Archpriest of Emeria or whatever that card is from Zendikar kind of vibe, where it's like the 1-drop that grows, then sometimes in the later game it grows even more, right?
I'm fine. Yeah, but if I can curve this into, if I can expect by turn 3 to have a servo.
Yeah, this is a solid card, C+ level. There's like actually, I don't know the exact ruling or if this is even worth mentioning, but there's some weird thing where if you want this to trigger and you want it to crew a vehicle, there's like this weird window. I don't know if that's a thing on Arena anymore, but I remember that was a thing back in the day in Paper where you had to like announce something. I don't know if you had to hold priority.
Yes.
Yeah. Weird interaction with this card, but
that's not gonna happen. Doesn't matter.
Yeah. All right, no worries then. But yeah, this is a solid card. I'm gonna give this a C+.
Yeah, C+ sounds good.
All right, what do we got next?
Baby. Sram, Senior Edificer. 1 and a white for a 2/2 legendary creature. Whenever you cast an aura, equipment, or vehicle spell, draw a card. I am excited to build around this.
Yeah, this is another sweet build around. And it's not even that hard to build around. You're gonna put vehicles in your white decks. There's not really. I don't think there's any equipment actually in the set because that's those slots are taken
goggles.
Up. Sure, Inventor's Goggles.
And that can auto equip to some artificers in white.
Yeah, sure. Of course, like we mentioned, Conviction is the real wombo combo with this card. If you're drawing a card off of this card, it's good, right? It's a 2/2 that is going to draw your card, and then anything past that is great. It's like a not even really a build around, but I'm going to say build around B.
Yep, that's exactly what I was going to say too.
Sweet. All right, next up we have Master Trinketeers. This is 3 mana for a 3/2 Dwarf Artificer. Again, the 2 magical creature types. Servos and Thought-Priesters you control get +1/+1, and 3 mana create a 1/1 colorless. 4 mana. 3 and a white. Create a 1/1 colorless servo artifact creature token.
I remember this card being oppressive.
Yeah, this card's really, really good, right? Just being able to, sometimes it comes down just boost your team, and if not, in a long game, you just, make a bunch of servos and take over the game from there.
Yeah, I think this is B+.
Yeah, I'm a little lower just because if you don't have all that stuff going on, it takes a little bit of time to get this going. But even still, yeah, I think the upside is there. I'll join you with B on B+ there. I agree with that.
Etherstorm Rock. Oof. 2 white for a 3/3 flyer. When it or another creature enters the battlefield under your control, you get an energy. And when it attacks, you can pay 2 energy. And if you do, you put a +1/+1 counter on it and tap up to 1 target creature defending player controls.
Yeah, I remember this one being more in the...
Also oppressive.
Yeah, I was going to say this one being the more in the range of oppressive. Yeah, it just grows. It's a 5/5 flyer by the time all is said and done. Oh, sorry. No. This isn't. It can be infinite. Just as many creatures that enter the battlefield. I thought this was 2 mana and or two energy gun entry. Yeah, no, this card's fantastic. This is probably better than every common and uncommon. Maybe not. I don't know. This is interesting. Like now we get into this discussion. Like, do you take this over Renegade or Untethered Express?
Or no, I don't think so.
Yeah,
because Untethered Express is insane.
Yeah. Anyways, but this card's also great. This card's also an A.
This is B+.
Right?
I think I'm going to B+, but
yeah, that's fair. I think it's good enough that yeah, A-. I'll settle on A- thing. Okay. I think it's good enough when it's great that I'm gonna give it a high grade.
Nice.
All right. Next up, we have Sram's Expertise. This is 2 white for a sorcery. Create 3 1/1 color servo artifact creature tokens. And you may cast a spell with converted mana cost 3 or less from your hand without paying its mana cost. So this is part of a cycle of expertise. I think there's only a few of them in the set, but basically you get an effect and you get to cast another card from your hand.
They're all in.
They're all in? Oh, cool. Yeah. Okay, awesome. So this is the first one in that cycle. Nice little tempo boost, right? Like this is exactly what the white decks want to be doing, and you get to like play another 3-drop or something, which is really nice.
This is good.
It's really like good. solid B-.
Yeah, I'm a little higher. I think I'm gonna go B.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah, I don't remember this card being like super. Like I think you didn't first pick this card a lot of the time.
I don't remember enough about like. I'm sure it was terrible at drafting aggro decks back in the day. But I just keep like all these cards that are like the cards that make Inspired Charge and Dawnfeather Eagle great are the cards I'm excited about.
Yeah, and you know, to be fair, like now that we get. I don't even know. Maybe this isn't even true. I was gonna say more Inspired Charge / Eagles. I guess that's not true. But I think big. Yeah, it's the set's bigger. But I think that like the support for those good wide decks is definitely there, and I think it's potentially more than it originally was because I think getting more Eagles is nice.
Yeah, that was another great 5-drop here.
Yeah,
Angel of Invention. 3 white for a 2/1 flying, vigilance, lifelink, fabricate 2, other creatures you control get +1/+1.
Yeah,
A
plus probably. I mean, maybe not plus, but like it's close to. I think I'm just gonna give this an A+.
All right.
Right, like has an immediate effect on the board. Like even if they kill it, like you're making. This is one of the ones that you're gonna be making servos with a lot of the time. Mm-hmm. Even if they immediately kill it, you get that value. If you don't. Game's probably just going to be over really soon. This card's fantastic.
Yeah, I agree.
Yep.
All right.
Next up, we have Cataclysm. Yeah, the Gearhulk cycle. This is a sweet cycle. So this is Cataclysmic Gearhulk. 3 white for a 4/5 vigilance. When Cataclysmic Gearhulk enters the battlefield, each player chooses an artifact, a creature, an enchantment, and a planeswalker among the non-land permanents they control, and they sacrifice the rest. Worth noting on this card, you can choose like this creature as your artifact and another creature as your creature, and you get to keep both of them.
Yep.
Right? So it clears the field, and the best creatures on each side are left standing, basically.
I'm not that jazzed about this.
No, this one's probably the worst of the Gearhulks, if I remember. Yeah.
Well, it's just like you think about the other 5-drops that we've seen, like the Aeronauts or especially Eagle. I'm taking those over this, I think.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think I would take this over Aeronauts. Maybe not. Maybe that's wrong.
The problem I see is, again, I keep talking about this go wide stuff. Like, this seems like a different game plan than the rest of what White wants to do.
Right. This directly goes against what White's game plan is. Right. He wants to board or build its board up wide. Although, there's going to be some like red-white like more focused on vehicle decks that aren't going as wide. Like that's just like not your main focus sometimes, right? Where this card's going to be better. Like not all of your white decks are going to go wide, but a lot of them are. So I do remember this one being like not one of the better ones. And it is kind of hard to break the symmetry. It's nice if your opponent doesn't have an artifact creature and you get to keep 2 and your opponent keeps 1. But I think this is more a C+ level card.
Yeah, I think I'm going. I don't know. Maybe this is too out of a take. I'm gonna go C.
Okay, sure. I mean, I gave it a C+. It's not. Yeah,
right.
That much of a difference, but yeah.
For the white mythic, cycle Gearhulk, I just feel like it should be good, but it doesn't look like it is. Similarly, where are you at here on Fumigate as our last rare here?
Yeah, so Fumigate is 3 white sorcery. Destroy all creatures. You gain 1 life for each creature destroyed this way. I remember this card specifically because this card kind of spawned the discussion of like, do you play rats in your aggro deck? I think for a long time the answer was always yes.
Yeah.
But just at this point in Magic's limited history, were we getting to the point where aggro decks were consistently, you were able to build them consistently. They came together. Synergy was more important than raw card quality, and there was like definitely two camps of like, you know, some people were like, no, you definitely don't play this in your red-white aggro deck. And some people being like, of course you play the Wrath in your red-white aggro deck. Like, it's a Wrath, right? I don't think you're supposed to, right? I don't think you're supposed to play this card. And I remember at the time being like, wait, you're not supposed to play this card? Like, this card's great. You're not supposed to play this card in your red-white aggro deck, right? Now, this card is still very good. This is one of the best Wraths for limited day printed just because you get stabilized and you gain a lot of life, right?
Yeah.
Like, a lot of times when you Wrath, the problem is like, you've already got, you know, you've held your creatures and you're like planning to deploy them after the Wrath. And you've already gotten down to like 8 or 10 or something, and your opponent can kind of like get you for the last 10 points. This really stabilizes you, brings you back up to like 15, makes it so that doesn't happen as often, right? So if I do take, you know, open this card, I might take it and build more of like a black-white or a blue-white slower deck if that's an option, because this is a good build around, right? But just worth noting, you shouldn't play this all the time.
Yeah.
So like build around B+, I would say.
It's just so hard. Like, you know, usually we have this split of like, there are some white aggro cards and there are some white control cards.
Mm-hmm.
There just aren't white control cards. Like, it doesn't really support that much, you know?
No, I don't think so either. I think it's more going to be like, you have this card and you know, blue is really open, and like this is like white is your like, you know, secondary color really, and you have mostly blue cards or mostly black cards, right? And then you're going to be happy with this card, right? Because it is very powerful, and there are spots for it. Just definitely, you know, don't take this and play it in all your decks.
Yeah, I agree. All right, that is white.